So you might be wondering, how does any of that have to do with anger control? It just seems like Cain did something wrong and we're talking about it. But let me give more detail to it. So we're not just talking about what Cain did or what happened to Abel or whatever and how good Abel was. But we're talking more about the fact that well, deep down, we're talking about the fact that Abel did what God was asking of him, and he was being very, very, very obedient. And where Cain went wrong is he had envy in his heart. He had that jealousy in his heart because he saw that God had more favor on Abel's gift, Abel's offering, and when Abel, if Cain just had done what God had asked him and obeyed fully and been faithful, then he wouldn't have to be so jealous. And when I talked about envy in the first part, I mentioned that if you have envious thoughts, or if you have jealous thoughts, if you're envious of somebody, just rather, instead of being envious of what they have or what they're doing right, just rather try and adapt that to your life. Because as we listen to Jesus' words, there are always going to be people more faithful to him. And in order to be more faithful to God, we have to look at the other people's lives and use their lives as an example. And we need to encourage each other as children of God and as brothers and sisters of Christ. And that's why I talked about Adam and Eve's sin causing a even bigger problem in their children's lives. So what's the whole point of this entire thing? If you're struggling with anger problems, I want you to look at the try and look as deep into something as possible. Try and get the full view of it. Do not try and let lies cover your head. I know how it is when there's just this dark cloud that's covering your thoughts and just blocking everything to the point where you can't see the truth. So I want you guys to just get get their perspective of what's happening. You need to understand how they feel on the other side of what's happening. And number two, Jesus' death on the cross and resurrection is actually helpful in this way, because as other persons are wronging you, we wrong God, we wrong each other. Just to clarify, if we wrong each other, we're wronging God. There's your answer.